weekly Coaches News Conference on KLPS TV is brought to you by Hawthorne Bank, a proud sponsor of Liberty School District. At Hawthorne Bank, we understand the importance of strong community in a strong school district. We also understand the importance of strong financial future for our school district's families and for our local businesses. Hawthorne Bank, with you every step. And by Jackson Hewitt. For all your tax needs, personal or business, rely on tax professionals at Jackson Hewitt and Liberty, a full-service tax preparation professional. Jackson Hewitt.
Good morning. Thanks for being here. It's an odd part of our season, and it's different than any other season I've ever really been a part of, because usually at this point you're playing a lot of games and practice time is over. But for us, we played last Tuesday and then we don't play again until this Thursday. So a lot of time on the practice floor, time to try to correct some things and get better. But at the same time, you got a lot of your stuff in, you got a lot of your basic concepts and things done. And so it's odd because, the guys really aren't, we got great guys, so they're focused and they're having good practices, but, it's different. And I hope that we're using this time to get a little bit better, because once we start playing here at the Stessman tournament on Thursday, we play Thursday, Friday, Saturday here, and then Tuesday, Friday, the rest of the season until the playoffs hit. So, we got time right now to kind of make sure that the last major corrections, if there are any, are in, and focused on what's coming up. I would have talked to you guys last Tuesday morning, and then we went and played Park Hill that night. Won, I think it was 46-32, sounds right. But played well in the second half. The first half was hard to watch at times offensively. We scored a whopping 11 points. But second half, we were able to put the ball in the goal a little bit more, and I was happy for a couple guys who normally, Trevor Shepard doesn't get a lot of playing time, and he was able to step up and play really, really well for us on Tuesday. Ian Sanford put together probably one of his best games, and so hopefully, we got guys that are getting comfortable, not too, cocky or arrogant, but getting comfortable within the system, having an idea what they need to do to finish, their senior regular season, and then gear up for the playoffs. So we're excited to be over here this week for this tournament. It's a great tournament. The field is just absolutely loaded. 7 of 8 teams have winning records. I think 5 of the 8 are ranked in the city. The tournament's just absolutely loaded with really good teams, and it should be some really good basketball. So with that, open up to any questions that you all may have.
What did you tell the guys at halftime at Park Hill game?
What I say to them?
Yeah.
Well, I asked them what the heck they were doing, because we couldn't score. And the stuff that we were doing on offense was just, we keep track of a stat offensively. We call it points per possession. So we got a guy that charts it. We take our total number of possessions and divide it by take our total number of points divided by our total number of possessions. And that helps with offensive efficiency, because we try to figure out, a good number's 1. Well, we got to halftime and we were 0.52. So what that means is it took us 4 possessions basically to get a basket. And if you're going 1 for every 4 possessions, you aren't going to beat a lot of people. And so just making sure that we understood some corrections we got to make. But then I just told them, you guys got to be the ones that figure this out and change this thing. I didn't go in there and yell at them, even though I wanted to. Just told them, you got to figure this thing out. You got to get it changed, and they did a good job of it, and able to respond. You want to win all the time, but you really want to make sure you protect your home court. And second half was much better in fourth quarter, especially.
How are your players taking this long week and a half of practice?
You know, I think they're doing okay. You'd have to ask them for sure. I think they're doing okay. You know, we did a lot of skill stuff after the Park Hill game. We took Wednesday off, and so Thursday, Friday, we did a lot of skill stuff, developing our players. Saturday, you know, we went pretty light and just did some shooting and kind of a team function, and then you know, yesterday we kicked their butt pretty good, make sure that they were kind of back in check and lined up with what we needed. So, you know, we've tried to have a balance of physically refreshed, but then also mentally refreshed, and now we're getting to the point where we got to kind of make sure that we've still got a competitive edge to us, because, you know, 3 games in 3 days is tough, and actually, you know, I think it's 3 games in 2.5 days, because those Saturday games are done by the afternoon. So, you know, if you win your first game, you play at 7, then you turn around and you play again at, you know, 1 or 3:30, whatever it is, or 2:30, whatever it is. You know, I mean, that's a quick turnaround. So I think they're doing well, and it's a balance of making sure that we're getting work done, but we're still fresh.
What will be your biggest challenge this week?
Well, I think the competition's the biggest challenge, because, you know, we don't. St. Joe Central's, they're coming in. They're 7-4, 8-4 maybe, and their 4 losses are all by single digits. And so, even though they've lost 4 games, 2 of them have been by 1 possession, so they could say, yeah, we shouldn't have lost those games. And if they're 9-2 or 10-2, whatever the case would be, you know, there'd be a different tone to them. So they're a heck of a test to start. And then win or lose, Olathe East is, you know, 8-1, ranked 4th in the city, and Center's 10-3, and has beaten some really good people. So, you know, I mean, it's. The competition's just outstanding, and so we got to make sure that our team's focused and able to, you know, execute some basic stuff, some things that we'll have in for our Thursday game. But then, you know, we don't have a ton of time as a staff to prepare and make huge changes or scouting report tendencies for the Friday game. So the competition's the biggest challenge, and then the second part of it is making sure that our guys, you know, execute and are fundamental in the system that we play, because we don't have a ton of time to, you know, change things or tweak things. They got to be the ones that do that.
Talk about the biggest challenge. What are you looking forward to most about that stuff?
Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of things to look forward to about it. First of all, I like coming back personally because of the people. You know, there's some awesome people around here that I like seeing. Some good memories that I've got personally. For our guys, it's nice. Some of them, you know, grew up watching a lot of basketball in the gym here. For our fans, it's nice because it's local. There's a lot of local ties. So I'm looking forward to the excitement that is generated just solely off of the tournament alone, notwithstanding our team or the teams we're going to play. But then what I'm looking forward to is, you know, I mean, the 15th of January? I mean, in a month, you know, conference season is winding down, and in 6 weeks it's the playoffs. And so what I'm looking forward to is simulating as best we can and being involved in environments that are going to prepare us for when the tournament comes, when it comes time to get to district tournament, or if you're able to win, you know, what sectionals or quarterfinals or whatever the case may be. So I'm looking forward to the environment, the level of competition, to see and compare it to our guys and how we respond, how we deal with it relative to hopefully how we will in 6 weeks once the tournament time comes.
After Trevor Shepard's, you know, stellar game, do you see him needing more playing time now in the future?
Well, the thing about Shep is what's cool about Shep is, you know, every player wants to play. Every player wants to play, and every player thinks that they should get more minutes, regardless of if they're a starter, if they're a bench guy. But what's so, I don't want to say fun or rewarding or whatever the, you know, adjective is that I can't find about Shep is, you know, his playing time doesn't define him, and so he's been working really, really hard. He's a great teammate, and he trusts his teammates and he trusts the coaches that if we're calling his number, that's the right time for him. And if we're not, there's a reason for it. So I want to get Shep a lot of time. I want to get him time, but just the same way I want to get, Offenbacher and Sandiford and Cornell and Will and these guys that are on our bench, I want to get them more time too. So, we will, because of his performance, he deserves a chance for some more minutes, but it's not a given. Just the same way if a guy was to play really bad, it doesn't mean that, his minutes are non-existent the next game. So he's had a good couple of days of practice, and so he'll get an opportunity again, and we'll need him against St. Joe Central. They got some good bigs.
What are you doing in practice to prepare for the whole tournament atmosphere?
Yesterday at practice, all we did was competition. So, we only went for an hour and 20 minutes, and our guys felt like it was about 3 hours. But, all we did was every single thing that we did, every segment, we had a winner and we had a loser. And so, when you lose, when you lose a game, you've got like an empty feeling. You're mad, you're upset, whatever the case is. Well, not so much in practice because there aren't the fans in the stands, there aren't the pressure of the game, there isn't all that. So we got to try to simulate it. So what we do is, we remind them with a little extra conditioning to make sure we're in shape. And so we had about 8 or 9 different segments yesterday that had a winner and a loser, and so we had some team that was a little bit more tired than the other. But to simulate the environment, to have us ready for it, we just want to make sure we've got that competitive edge to us.
What do you think about the possibility that Liberty will play Liberty?
That's a really good question, and I'm shocked it took 14 minutes for somebody in here to ask. I don't know, which answer do you want? You want the real answer, or you want the answer I'm supposed to give on camera? The real answer, I'm not giving it to you. Listen, the deal about playing Liberty is this. It would be really, really exciting for a lot of people. Sometimes when you go through the handshake line after a game and you lose, you're mad because you lost, and then maybe you're mad who you lost to. But at least I know with Roger, with Coach and I, we got a good relationship, so somebody'd be happy for the other guy even if they would lose. But here's the bottom line. For us, that's 2 games away. That's St. Joe Central and Olathe Easton Center. For them, it's 2 games. But it'd be really exciting for a lot of people. Students got a lot of pride in their school. It'd be fun for them. Community members who want to see it because they've had kids that maybe have gone through here, or new families who have more kids at North. They have the pride in their school. It would be a ton of fun for a lot of people, and it would be absolutely miserable for me and for Coach because all the extra stuff, all the hoopla, everything about it is exciting and generates the excitement. But for us, it's really kind of a distraction, if anything. But you got to make sure you ask him that and see what kind of answer he gives, because I'm sure we think some of the same about it. But I know people are looking forward to it, and when it happens, it happens. But we get St. Joe Central is our next game, and that's our most important game. Hopefully all of you get your extra credit today, because there's about 80 of you here, which is nice. This week will be fun. This tournament's great. A lot of people that put in a lot of time and effort for it, and we hope that our team can play well and we can put on a good show and maybe win a couple games while we're at it. So I look forward to seeing you guys around this week. Thanks.
The weekly Coaches News Conference on KO.